This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Brandon Andrus Green.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast Live. One good neighbor may be closer than you think. Today I have the pleasure of introducing Carrie Henderson, Executive Director of Iron Gate. Carrie, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you today, Brandon?
Doing so well. I'm excited to hear all about you, Iron Gate, and kind of what all you guys have going on. So for someone hearing about Iron Gate for the first time, what is it and who do you serve?
Absolutely. Well, we are not a gate manufacturer. We are a organization in downtown Tulsa, and our mission is to feed the hungry and homeless of Tulsa every day. And that looks a couple different ways. We serve a meal every morning from 8:30 to 10:30. No barriers. Anyone's welcome. The population that we serve in the morning is mainly people experiencing homelessness, about 85% of our guests. And then the other 15% of our guests are housed. They're just looking to kind of stretch their resources a little bit. So we start off with a breakfast entree, and then we transition to more of a lunch entree. We try and feed our guests in a food is medicine format.
Wow.
Yes, so we partnered with OU Tulsa a couple years ago during COVID, and we're always striving to do better, but we try and incorporate
Big
fresh
deal.
fruits. Yeah, we know that if our guests can start their day with a more, eating and a meal, that they're going to have better outcomes for the day. So, like I said, in the middle of COVID, we partnered with OU Tulsa School of Culinary Medicine and did some testing and for food recipes and things like that. And they did some nutritional analysis of our meal, talked with the guests about their health issues, and found out we were serving a little too much sugar. So we kind of retooled and, try and serve as more fresh fruits and vegetables, always trying to have a green salad option with lunch, try and serve leaner proteins, more beans. We don't serve as much dessert as we used to, but I do think it is made for a calmer dining room. So we try and do that for our guests. And like I said, anyone is welcome to come for the meal. People can go through the line as often as they like. We usually see around 250 to 300 people a morning.
Wow.
And it's a busy place, and we serve anywhere from 600 to 1,000 plates a day.
Goodness.
Yes. Depending on kind of the time of we have the time of the month depends. If anyone's getting assistance, the beginning of our month looks a little bit slower. It does depend on the weather. If it's hot, if it's cold, if it's raining when people wake up, if it's raining. So it's all kind of part of the factor. Right now, during the extreme heat, we are providing cold bottled water when guests leave the meal so that they can, we can help them stay hydrated throughout the day. And as you can imagine, some guests will just come in, they'll have a plate, and then they'll leave. And then a lot of guests come and they'll be here for the entire 2 hours because not only are they getting food, but it's also community. This is the space where no one's going to say, hey, you have to move. Hey, you got to keep going. Don't sit here. So it's a definite, safe space. We also partner with other community agencies, and we have resources on site for our guests. Family and Children's Services provides a case manager. The VA is here a couple days a week. Grand Mental Health, Tulsa Cares, so that guests, if they, don't know where to turn, this is kind of, maybe their first stop. They can meet with someone here in the morning.
That's so impressive. I recently interviewed Erin Martin with Fresh RX. And food is medicine. She got passed the food is medicine bill here.
Yes.
And
we're not quite as good as they are, but we're working on it.
Yeah, but just the fact that you guys are going in that direction is a big deal. I've worked with several different food banks, and a lot of the things they give away um, aren't healthy. It's affordable, so you have to have that balance. But
It is a
it's such a
balance.
big deal that you guys are giving healthy food to the homeless to as much as you can. Yeah.
We strive every day.
And so, how did you get started in this in the first place?
So I have been with Iron Gate now for about 9 years. I actually come from a totally different field. My background is in arts administration, and I have worked locally at Tulsa Opera. I was the last place at Tulsa Botanic Garden, and I was approached and said, "Hey, we need an executive director. We think you should apply." And I said, "I don't think I'm your girl because I don't know anything about that space and I don't know." So I had my interview, did it, and then the second phase was come volunteer for a day. And this is Iron Gate was still located down at Trinity Episcopal Church. And so I went for the day and I did the meal and we had a pantry, and then I was like, I really like this. I want this job. I am all in. So it was really that opportunity to interact with our guests and to kind of see that really something rang true in me. And so I had my second interview and I was all in. I was ready, and luckily everything worked out, and here I am. And it's been an amazing opportunity for me personally. Just I feel like I learn something every day. It's amazing the grace and the dignity that our guests carry with them. And I think kind of in this crazy world that we live in where there's so much division and striving, and to truly serve people every day who are not at the best moment in their life. And it's a reminder every day to be grateful for what you have and where you are. And if you can help shine a light on somebody else or make someone else's life just a little bit better, that it's really valuable and important work. So I feel like this job, I hope I give to this job as much as it's given me, because it's really been
Wow.
it's been an amazing place to be, and something that I never thought. Like I said, I was the art girl, so this is a amazing thing. So
So, did you do that art behind you? Is that your stuff?
that is not. I am not an artist. I was an arts administrator. Those who can't do surround.
Yeah.
No, I know that is a beautiful painting that a woman did to us. It's the actually courtyard of the old Iron Gate down at the church. So yeah. So no, I can't take any credit for that.
Wow. And then are those other ones portraits or those paintings as well?
No, those are portraits, and those are from some different photographers. I think I have three different photographers up there. I have Melissa Lukenbach behind the painting, and the red background is, oh gosh, now I'm drawing a blank on his name. That is terrible.
Hmm.
And then the bottom ones were done by Anitra Lavinar. I'll think of
Okay. And we can
Shane.
also include it in the show notes.
Yes. But anyway, every year we do a show called Faces, where we partner with a local photographer to take portraits of our guests and help us explain their story for awareness and fundraising purposes. So every year they do just a beautiful set of portraits of our guests. And as you can see, their work is pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's incredible. I'm liking those. And what's to me, it's just crazy that we dehumanize someone when they lose their home, when someone's houseless and forced to sleep on the streets or camp somewhere or whatever. It's crazy how, as a population, we just like consider them as like a subset of the population, like they're no longer human. I love how humanizing those photos are behind you.
Absolutely. And I think like I said, they're every year they're just beautiful. And then one thing you'll notice that I always refer to the people that we serve as our guests, and that is kind of a tenet of Iron Gate, is that we all believe we're guests on this earth, and guests treat each other with kindness, courtesy, and respect. So I love that, we don't call them clients or something. They're our guests. So we always try and welcome them in. And, I think that's a mantra that kind of, Iron Gate is 48 years old this year. And that's something that that was part of the core component, is that, we started out at Trinity Episcopal Church downtown. There was 3 men. They saw a hungry man, and they're, hey, we should make him a sandwich. And so, they did. And so the story goes, the word spread. If you're hungry, go to the church with the iron gates, which is how we got our name. That's how we got our name. So, those 3 men just did it very selflessly with, no expectation of anything. And here we are 48 years later. And one of our founders is still living and volunteers twice a month. So that's pretty amazing. Keenan Bernard. And then the other 2 recently passed away, Father Jack Powers and Gene Buzzard, but they both got to see the new building and see it in action. So it's a pretty amazing story. And I think that's part of Iron Gate's longevity, is because it has been such a selfless act. And, when you're doing this kind of work, like, there's no room for egos or anything like that. It's, we're trying to get things done. So, that's just kind of part of our vision and how we operate.
And how do you guys fund all of this?
So we are funded through private donations. During COVID, we had some government funding with the PPE and that kind of thing, but currently it's private donations. So individuals, corporations, foundations, faith groups, lots of in-kind. One of our biggest partners is, of course, Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma. And we partner with them. We most of the food that we purchase through them and their buying power and their agreements. And then we also, through our relationship with the food bank, pick up from a lot of grocery stores around town. So we're assigned different grocery stores from the food bank, and we have a team that goes out 7 days a week to different stores, and we pick up about 60,000 pounds of food a month.
Oh my goodness.
From that. Yes. And then between that and then people doing their own food drives, whether it be at their office, their school, their church, their bridge group, whatever. Last year we received about 1 million pounds of in-kind donated food.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So that's pretty amazing. So for us, that's over like a $2 million investment in that we don't have to spend cash on. So that really supplements our budget and helps out. So that's a great thing. And then volunteers. We had almost 4,000 volunteers at Iron Gate last year, give 18,000 hours. Volunteers help us every day because we're open 365 days a year.
Oh, geez.
Christmas, holidays, rain, snow, all the days. And so volunteers help us serve the meal every morning. They help us get ready for our pantry. They help serve the pantry. So, the staff is just kind of the overseers and the getting everything. And then really all those volunteer hands help us. And, some volunteers will come one time a year, maybe with a group, maybe by themselves. And then, we have regulars who show up there every Wednesday shift or whatever day. But it truly is lots of hands make light work.
Amen. And what's the best way for our listeners to volunteer, to connect, to follow along?
Absolutely. So irongatetulsa.org, you can find all the information on volunteering, donating. We'd love to have you involved. There really is nothing more powerful than handing someone a plate of food. And, just looking at someone in the face and saying, good morning, And it's really, like I said, it's very uplifting to your soul, just the humanity of it. So I invite everyone to come see us.
Hey man, what a good word. Carrie, I so appreciate you, and I wish you and Iron Gate the best moving forward.
I appreciate this opportunity, and thanks, Brandon. Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnptulsa.com. That's gnptulsa.com or call 918-301-6356.